Hello? Okay. You can hear me. You don't need a microphone here. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming to this event. It's the announcement for the first annual Coach Mike Pressler Award for the Frank McGuire Foundation. And I'd like to think that everyone here also believes that recognizing character and integrity is important, because that's what this foundation is about. That's what Coach Pressler is about, and that's what Coach Rubling and Jack Moran are about. Speaking of integrity, I'd like to introduce some of the board members of the Frank McGuire Foundation. We have a former player for Coach McGuire who was part of the 1957 NCAA championship team, Bob Young, sitting over here. We have athletic director emeritus for St. John's University, who also has a stadium in his name at this point, at St. John's, Jack Kaiser. We have the former executive director of the Heisman Trophy, who worked there for 40 years, Rudy Risco. We have Cal Ramsey here. He's on our advisory board. In a few minutes, I'll have Mike Quick come up and introduce Coach Jack Moran and Coach Mike Pressler. And in the meantime, I'd like Jack Kaiser to just tell you a little bit about the Frank McGuire Foundation.
Thank you, Rob. I was a Brooklyn boy, born and bred, went to St. John's Preparatory School, and at that school we had a fellow who's a legend, and there's only a few of us who remember him, Herbert V. Hess. Mr. Hess, and we always called him Mr., coached the varsity football team in the fall. He coached in the wintertime the varsity basketball team, the JV basketball team, and 3 freshman teams in basketball. In the spring, he coached the varsity baseball team and the JV baseball team. He lined the field. He was the athletic director, and he ordered and took care of all the equipment. I get exhausted just thinking about that. But this was a man who had a big influence on my life, because he had winning teams in all these sports, but that wasn't the important thing that he emphasized, and that was true values of life. With that in mind, about 10 years ago, I got a call from my friend Bob Young, and he asked me to come over to a meeting. He and Walter O'Hara and Tommy Kearns had gotten together, and they were interested, number one, in honoring Coach McGuire, and secondly, establishing a foundation with awards, as Robin has said, for character and for courage and for being a good mentor and caring for the student athletes. Well, that was a great hit with me, and we got together and did it. Now, Wednesday, November 7th of this year will be our 9th annual awards dinner. We have honored a large number of coaches in the tri-state area, and even Morgan Wooten from Washington. Jack Curran was just mentioned, but is also one of our early awardees. I can't tell you what it's meant to me to be asked and to be able to participate in this foundation. In this day of negative thinking and negative media things that we see and hear, nobody gives anyone a pat on the back for a good job, and we're about doing that. We have a gentleman here with us who is very well known in the high school ranks. He's been an integral part of our operation from day one. He has a great high school sports show on Madison Square Garden Network, and he has been MC at a lot of our affairs. He knows every coach in the area. He's been chair of our selection committee. So I'm going to ask him, Mike Quick, to come up and tell us more about Coach Pressler and the first Pressler Award winners. Mike Quick.